A lot of movie series just make more and more movies to the point that it becomes generic. Such was the case with the last Indiana Jones movie, and more than most the case with the new Superman reboot. That's what I will dig my teeth into today, guys. Why it is in fact one of the most overrated movies this year. Let's start with the obvious. What do we see in a lot of new movies these days? Yes, emotion, emotion, and more emotion. Of course, the Superman character has to have a lot of emotion. He has to care a lot about humanity, and he loses his more natural coldness that he has had in other Superman movies. For example, in the old days, where this character was played by Christopher Reeve. I will not call this movie woke, but it is a bit strange when he is called Superman that he then is beaten down all the time. When the only thing that's supposed to make Superman weak are these green crystals that basically takes away his power. Now, some people may love that he can get beaten, but according to the real scenario in the comics, the movie portrays an unnaturally weak Superman. As a second critique against the movie, you see the way it has a lot of boring parts where you really are not entertained. For example, this applies to when he is trapped in the pocket universe, the romance, and the quarrel with Lois Lane during this interview stuff at the start of the movie. That pocket universe thing is also where Bell explained, giving us a further negative impression of the movie. Generally, the movie has bad lots, no cool fight support from one in particular I will talk about later. What you see for the most part is how some of the opponents are just knocked down like fireflies, for example by Mr. Terrific. In addition, I'm not that crazy about the other members of the team either, such as Hawkgirl or this other guy in the Justice Gang. Further bad impression is how we see all this social media stuff, the podcasts, the interviews, which tries to give us a monologue on the whole thing, but it just ends up being pretty cringe. And although it might be cool at the end when Lex Luthor is exposed for the fraud he really is, lastly, it could easily have been done in another way. To focus more on the events as they happen instead of time and time again dwelling on it when they have already happened. Of course, with all the negativity around, we also need some plus points. Although this movie is pretty average at the core, the first good thing about this movie is how well Nicholas Hoult fits as Lex Luthor. He fits him like a hand in a glove. He does a much better act than what Gene Hackman did during the first two movies, but sadly, he is the only good actor in the movie. Now, Karen Sweet does an okay act as Superman, but it is nowhere near the expertise and range that Holt shows in his role here. Secondly, the fight between Superman and this crazy clone made by Lex Luthor himself is pretty tense, but it is the only tense fight in the movie, and that makes me a bit sad to see. The movie could actually have been turned 360 degrees around, where Superman had to fight his clone, which was his pastor, then he ruined the city, and he said he was there to destroy humanity. First, he gets knocked down, and he has to find a way to fight him in the second round. That could then been a much better movie than this whole mess of an emotional tomato soup. But of course, that's just another reason why this is indeed one of the most overrated movies this year.